about the Grand Canyon, actually, was that underwhelming, or was that like, oh, this is so cool?
Yeah, it was. There's this thing called Paris syndrome or something like that. My buddy Nick, who's in Japan, has been telling me about it. And it's when you go to Paris, especially this is for people who work literally all of the time, and it's quite common in Asia for people who, don't have, it's not really encouraged to take vacation very often or for very long or yada yada.
Yeah.
So they build up their vacation or the place they're going, Paris will say, in their heads is this like perfect, incredible, amazing thing. Okay. And then they get there, and then it's just a city. It's just a place, and they kind of have incredibly tough like mental difficulties with it.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen with the Grand Canyon at all.
Okay.
Like we went there, and I like saw that there was a bird off in the distance. Then I realized it was a helicopter, and then I realized that everything I was using to try and measure distance and perspective felt like I didn't know what they were anymore.
Okay.
So it was a very strange and cool experience.
Huh.
And then I climbed up on a promontory next to a security guy, and he just like gave us some fun facts. And I was like, so like, what do you do when you're up here all day? Do you just like try and yell and make the place echo? And he's like, well, I mean, you'd have to yell pretty loudly. I mostly just stop people from committing suicide. And I'm like, yeah, sounds about right, yeah. Ignoring your macabre and morbid comment, would it be all right if I tried to make it echo? and he was like, sure. So I like say, excuse me, other tourists, I'm gonna yell really loudly now. Everything's fine. And they're like, yeah, okay, go for it.
Yeah.
So I just yell as loudly as I can, and then I hear my voice echo back at me from miles in every direction, imagining on some other end of that canyon, someone else hearing me and wondering, who's that fucker?
Yeah, I hope he didn't top himself.
So yeah, it's pretty great.
Oh, cool. All right. So cool. We'll have to put it on the list of things to see if we ever get down there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Your audio's quite low there, Mike.
Is it?
Yeah, give us a 1, 2, 3, 4 there.
1, 2, 3, 4 there. Blah, 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 blah.
That's a bit better.
Blah, 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 blah. Okay. I'll try
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, lovely. Okay, let's go. Okay. Good evening and welcome to Is It a Bicycle? Season 9, Episode 6, the original and bestest ever TV and movie podcast. My name is Stephen Wrigley and I'm the host for this evening, but you already knew that. Beside me I have a man who saying I'm shocked and appalled is basically telling the world that you can't control your own emotions, so everyone else should do it for you. That's Mike McDonough.
Well, thank you, Steve.
Yeah, live from Vegas, we have a man who spreads gluten outside his front door to keep the hipsters away. It's Sean Lennon. I know he does. This week we'll be discussing some movies in the shape of Man from U.N.C.L.E. Oh, actually, a movie in the shape of Man from U.N.C.L.E. and some TV in the form of Show Me a Hero and Lucifer. We'll also have some news and some previews in Coming to a Bicycle near you. So how are we doing?
Fantastic, Steve.
Good stuff. What have we been up to this week?
This week, I've been binge watching Hannibal season 3.
Oh yeah, tell us.
It's a very different animal, this season 3. I think it's really only for hardcore fans.
Right.
There's an awful lot of kind of strange scenes, like dream sequences or whatever, and it's kind of inside somebody's head, and you're kind of sitting there for 10 minutes wondering, what the fuck is going on here?
Right.
So I only got up to episode 8, and that left me in a state of utter confusion, because episode 8 in any other show would be the finale. It seems like they wrapped up all the story arcs.
Right.
But I know there's 2 episodes left, so I'm wondering, what on earth are those 2 episodes for? So I'm looking forward to seeing that, just to sort out my own curiosity, and
right.
I'll report back to you next week.
Okay, so
there's more
Hannibal then.
Definitely.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, you were saying, Sean?
There's actually more than 2 episodes, I believe, Mike.
Oh yeah.
That I've seen 2 episodes, and that can't be the end of it. Like,
Ah, okay. That has done nothing to
I can say, I can say without spoiling anything, I can say that they basically seem to split the season up into two sets of storylines.
Okay.
And the next set of storylines is taken pretty directly from one of the Hannibal books, and people may recognize it from other inferior representations in film.
Okay. Well, that's good. Means I got more stuff to watch. Yeah. What did you think of this season, Sean? I know you liked season 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's very different. I think that they went out on a limb even more than they usually do. And I think in part that's because the first half of the season, I don't know, because I really liked a lot of the parts of it, and it was beautiful and it sounded amazing throughout. Like, I can't argue that. And Brian Fuller, like at Comic-Con, the showrunner and creator, did say that he likes to think of each episode as its own art film.
Okay.
And I did think that all those things were interesting, but when you don't have a serial killer killing people every week, it's tougher to, like, you know, invest in the shock and the thrills, which I think were not the only part, but a large part of Hannibal seasons 1 and 2. So I don't know. I don't think it's inferior. I think it's different. I don't like it quite as much, but I do feel that the mid-season finale stuff that you refer to as tying up all the loose ends, I do feel that makes up for it in terms of action.
Yeah.
So I would say probably better for a binge watch than for individual week-by-week episodes where you just kind of go, I feel very interesting, but I don't know if anything's actually happened.
Yeah.
I think it changes though. Once it gets to the new season, it's very much, to me, reminiscent of Hannibal seasons 1 and 2.
Okay.
You seen anything this week, Sean? It's not on the list.
Mr. Robot had episode 8 of season 1, and it's been building tension for a long time now, with various storylines, as well as the various Mr. Robots that could be vying for the title.
I think I'm still at episode 5-ish. 6 maybe.
Well, yeah, they ramp it up a lot. Like, I think you'd know what I was talking about. I'm guessing the stuff I'm talking about must be like slightly later. But in episode 8, they blow their collective load when it comes to all of the stuff they've been teasing us with. And, you know, there's going to be a big conversation between some very main characters, and much has been revealed and more is still to come. Very excited.
Oh, good. Because, you know, it kicked off brilliantly, and then episode 2 was a big disappointment, I thought. But it's worth sticking with it, because 3 came on strong.
Definitely.
And it's been great since, or so far for me. So yeah, I'm glad to hear that it gets better again. Okay, I haven't seen anything else this week. I've been busy.
Did you not watch the hurling?
Oh yeah, the All Ireland hurling semi-finals. Galway v Tip, of course. Yeah, that was very, very exciting, Sean.
Yeah, I bet it was exciting for many, many people.
Many people, even those that don't have an interest in hurling. It was quite exciting. Because they drew level 10 times during the match. In fact, up until the last 3 minutes, they were level. Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. Such a great game.
Tense affair.
Yeah. I'm sure there's many people in high blood pressure the following day.
I was one of them.
Yeah. So yeah, all right, we'll crack on. Sean, have you got news for us this week?
Oh God, no! I just had to not in any way at all. Life has overtaken me.
No way.
And I do not have any film news for anybody.
Okay.
Or did those immigration guys catch up with you again? Yeah.
It's more like they were catching up with my mate who just moved over. I'm trying to get him everything he needs to survive in this paper-filled world of adventure and bureaucracy.
Okay, let's kick off with the first of our TV, which is Show Me a Hero, which is written by David Simon who's we know from Generation Kill, The Wire. There's a Treme A.
Treme, yeah.
Dream even. This stars Oscar Isaac, Winona Ryder, John Bernthal, Carla Quevedo, and Jim Belushi. It's about Mayor Nick Wasiko. Jesus, I'm getting all the names now.
Yeah,
Wasisco.
Thank you, Wasisco. Yeah, it's pronounced like it's written, as he says in it. Who's played by Isaac, and he took office in 1987 during Yonkers' worst crisis, when federal courts ordered public housing to be built in white middle-class side of town, and the divided city in a bitter battle, fueled by fear, racism, murder, and politics. So, yeah. So that's the basis of it. Oscar Isaac, fantastic, yet again. Yeah, when was the last time we saw him? Ex Machina.
Oh, yeah.
Or Ex Machina.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's really strong in this again. Very convincing and great acting and great storytelling and great TV. And I'm sad that it's only a miniserie. Yeah, did you see this?
I did.
What did you think?
Fucking hated it.
You hated this. I thought you'd like this because it's politics and it's the 70s or 80s. Yeah, you wouldn't have liked that.
80s.
It was a bad time for our Mike, the 80s.
And American race relations and all kinds of things that I just do not have any fucks left to give about. And council meetings. Oh, I fucking love council meetings. But they get really intense on procedures.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Steve. This is... Oh, no.
You didn't like this?
No, I absolutely... Every single minute of it was just dental surgery for me.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Oh, horrible. Even the opening scene where there's a pager going off.
Yeah.
I was just... Shut up.
Okay, Mike. You were obviously in a mood.
Yeah, I was.
when you're watching this. Yeah, because that was like very, very minor. I was more struck. It was the curiosity. What the hell is that about? You know, and that kind of set the scene for me. I got straight into the intrigue and interest. Yeah.
See, I was sitting there with my bottle of whiskey and my shotgun.
I see. Yeah.
It's probably not best way to watch it.
Just built a pint of milk on the couch or something like that. Sean, did you see this?
I did indeed, yes.
And?
Miniseries, not usually my thing either. I don't know if Mike's the same with that, but in general, because, I like to watch TV for, continue character development over, a span. I like to add to my roster of shows, Yeah. But, I've seen miniseries that I've enjoyed as well. Not many, but probably the most recent one being Olive Kitteridge. Which was Frances McDormand and a whole other bunch of really interesting people.
Yeah.
And I was comparing this with it a lot, partially because they're both HBO miniseries. So this opens with, Nick Sissky, before we know who the fuck he is, just driving into a graveyard, having some acid reflux, drinking something to settle his stomach. His pager goes off, he looks at it and he leaves it on the dash. Gets out of the car and throws up. Pager keeps going off, 911, 911. Obviously things are going on and people need to reach him. So he throws up and he walks over and he sits down with his back to a tombstone which seems to bear his name. Very ominous, very well shot, quite well acted. However, compare the stakes involved in that with the opening of Olive Kitteridge, which was Frances McDormand, quite old, much older than we've ever seen her look before. She's been aged with makeup and yada yada, walking with a picnic basket and a blanket over her arm, walking into the middle of a grove. Somewhat similar scenes. We're not sure who she is. We don't know what's going on. She removes a shotgun from the basket that she's carrying, and she takes it out and it looks like she's about to use it on herself. Then we flash back. I am more interested in one of those things than the other, and it's the one with the gun. Now, it's not that I think that the show Show Me a Hero is bad. I think that it is about a guy who is in over his head. The only problem with that is that I knew that already. Because they make a point of telling you that he's 28 years old, or he's about to be 27 years old or something. And you're going like, oh, that's quite young. And then the idea that he should run for mayor of Yonkers comes up, and you're like, oh, he's going to get in way over his head. And then he gets in way over his head. Now, it's a pilot problem as well, right? Because the pilot only gets you up as far as, oh, he's clearly, things are going to get tough for him now. Because remember, he gets indigestion earlier, and that's from later on. And I was just like, okay, these are some people that are interesting-ish. Sure, it's very well acted. It's shot fairly well. It's period, and they seem to be doing the period stuff quite well. The B plots I didn't care about at all because they weren't interesting. The B plots with the people who I believe it is presumed they will want to acquire this housing. One woman's sight is failing because of her diabetes, which is a terrible thing. And that's not particularly interesting to watch for me. I don't really understand why I should care about that yet, beyond normal human compassion, which perhaps was on the wane at that hour of the evening. So, I don't know, I just, like, there is a great scene in this, right, where he gets some good news and he celebrates, and you look at him and you go, holy shit, you're immature. And, there's a romantic relationship that is clearly a bad idea. And you go, do you know that this is a bad idea? Because you seem to know that this is a bad idea because everyone's telling you this, but you're still doing it. You should probably make some more responsible decisions because you're going to have to do that for a lot of people.
But it's love.
And it is interesting.
It's love.
Yeah, sure. It's, abuse of power over a female subordinate. It's interesting.
I didn't think. I thought it was the other way around, actually. Okay, yeah.
I just, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of clear where this is all going, right? Which means that they need to make the intricacies quite interesting. And I think they did an all right job of that. Like, it's pretty to watch and it's, well acted, as I keep saying. It's just that if you can't find a way to put a gun in the room, that's fine. I understand it's based on a true story. Well, then show me a slightly more interesting part of the story first, or get to the more interesting parts quicker. This is good. It is people, it's dudes doing stuff, and that's fine. But I'm not going to get hooked. You know what I mean? I'm just not going to get hooked on that. Maybe the next episode will ramp up the tension and, someone will throw a brick through a wall. You mentioned murder in your synopsis. I don't know. That might be good. That could be a nice thing to happen. Isn't this the problem with stories, huh? Just toss in some murder. Invent a story to have a bit of fun with, right? I could just Wikipedia this story.
Yeah.
My interest has been mildly piqued, but not really enough to watch 4 more hours of it.
Did you see House of Cards?
Yeah.
Right. And would you prefer? Well, I'm guessing that you would prefer that kind of political wrangling than this. Is this a bit too parochial?
Staid, I think, is
or staid.
I mean, it is staid. It's partially parochial.
Yeah, but see, in
here's the difference.
You have the evil behind it.
Yeah, but there's also Borgen, which doesn't quite has more like stuff you can relate to here in Irish politics, and the manipulation that goes on there, and that's kind of what I liked about this because I didn't know the story, and purposefully didn't wiki it, and it did sort of catch me off guard a couple of times with a couple of twists in the story, like when he's running for office, that it was actually going to be a possibility due to a certain twist in the story, so I did like that. And I'm going to sort of give it away now. It is a thriller for me because I will watch more of this, and I think it's quite strong. Yeah, I'm surprised that there's such negativity coming from you guys.
I'm quite pleased to hear a distinct lack of love coming from Sean's side.
Yeah.
It was good, but I fucking hated it.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah.
I mean, It's well made. I can't disagree that it's well made. I just, I don't think that there's anything in it that's gonna, like, where's the guy at the start of the show going, my name is Oliver Queen. For 5 years I was lost in hell and now I've returned to save my city. Where's that shit?
So maybe it's the genre that doesn't suit. It's because there's no gun and because there's no,
But I mean, I do like House of Cards.
I know, yeah. They're different. They're lighter. All right. This is a
too.
more in-depth political type drama.
It's subtler.
It's more melodrama without the mellow.
Yeah.
without the drama. Let's be honest. It's without the drama. Things that are dramatic that happen.
I do agree with you that the B stories, they're not that interesting, except for the love interest side of it. And I'm hoping to see more of Winona come into it as well.
Yeah.
I do believe there's a few faces from The Wire appear later on in the series.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I'm going to stick with this. I'll let you know how it goes.
Oh, thanks very much, Steve. Sure. I'm quivering in anticipation. Would you like to ask me if I thought it was a thriller?
No, I think I gathered. But okay, actually, what I do want to ask you is Oscar Isaac.
He's a great actor.
Yeah. Strong performance.
Yeah, he does
For
everything
sure.
well.
Yeah.
I just fucking hate the story.
Was it also the period?
Period doesn't help. Topic doesn't help.
Right.
It's
Stuff not happening doesn't help.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm just trying to nail down what your problem is
It's
with
the
it.
total lack of drama, and it's
Like, is it something I've missed? That's what I'm asking.
it's the
really.
dramatic equivalent of an anti-Viagra.
Okay.
I think what it is the excitement of this show, such as it is being doled out quite piecemeal. And even when it is doled out, I almost miss it because it's so small and subtle. So what I'm getting from it is, here's some well-made television, because sometimes what you get is they do it wrong, right? They have great ideas, but they get them to the screen in an incorrect manner, in a way that doesn't work. For example, if the characters are not on task, you can notice that and go, that's a flaw in that show.
Right.
This show doesn't have those flaws. The characters are on task. It's just that their task, their obstacles, and their conflict are all given through conversational exposition, which is not particularly interesting for me to watch. So it's not going to draw me in.
Okay, fair enough.
What I'm getting from it is like hints of berries with a strong finish.
Okay, so it's two fillers, I gather, then,
Uh-huh.
and a thriller. Okay.
Indeed.
Yeah, hang on. I think it's brilliant storytelling. And like I said, brilliant performance, brilliant acting. And I would like more of this, please.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's skip ahead, go on to the second of our TV. Get the TV done with, which is Lucifer. Lucifer Morningstar, played by Tom Ellis, has moved to LA. He's English. Didn't see that coming.
No.
He's suave, he's manipulative, he's wealthy, and he's having fun. Then he takes interest in a police investigation and meets Joan Watson. Chloe Dancer, played by Lauren German. They work together and will probably do so every week until the season finale, much like Sherlock and several other programs we've seen recently that we'll be reviewing soon.
Yeah. Kind of a very interesting offbeat take of like having a slightly funny male lead and a really competent male cop, and the two of them get together to solve problems. I've never seen anything like that.
Right, I thought this was fun. I like his confidence, his charming demeanor, and without being a real arrogant twat about it or being aggressive about it, the way he can manipulate people into seeing things the way he sees them. And I know he uses his devilish what would you call it, talents
Mm-hmm.
to do this. But yeah, I do like it. I do like it, and I like that he speaks the truth, which can be quite funny at times. Like I said, it's not something we haven't seen before with various sort of, what was that one, the psychology one, the guy who can see what people are thinking, and all those kind of ones that we've seen in the past. But yeah, this is decent dialogue, well written. Yeah, I was pretty happy with this.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised that you identified with a
Lucifer type.
Suave, manipulative.
Oh yeah, suave, manipulative. See, I didn't see it. He wasn't passive aggressive enough for me. That was the problem. Yeah. Sean, did you see this?
I did indeed see this, Steve. I saw this back at Comic-Con, in fact.
Oh yeah.
So Lucifer is... what's Lucifer? Okay, Lucifer is somehow a generic Satan. It's tough. It's like, I understand that it's tough to take a character that has been written about for, millennia and try and do something original with him, right? I understand that that's difficult. And I can see that in the actual movements of what he does and what he says, that, there is interest, there is, kind of nice stuff. But I don't know if they're completely capturing on the small screen how interesting and insanely complicated and complex the character of Lucifer probably would be. You know what I mean? Like, it's a tough job, but they're supposed to do it. They're making the show about that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, have either of you guys ever read Paradise Lost?
Milton.
Yeah, Milton.
A long time ago.
In Latin, was it, Mike?
No.
No, not this time. Okay. Yeah, Mike's read it. It's probably up on the wall there behind.
Yeah, there probably is a copy.
I mean, that's what they're competing with, right? I mean, that's pretty. And what I ended up getting was a kind of a spoilt, omnipotent child. Not to say that it's not interesting, but it's a spoilt, omnipotent child who, for some reason, is quite a nice person at heart. It was kind of strange to me that was already a thing. I was like, oh, he just helps people sometimes. All right, I didn't really expect that.
Yeah.
Now, I do like why. I do get that his thing is that he's a punisher.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, I mean, when you have a girl, like, there was this scene where she went, wait, did I sell my soul to the devil? And he's like, no.
Yeah.
No, you're fine. Don't worry about it. I just want you to do well and be happy. And I'm like, okay. Why is he acting like the, best friend to this damsel in distress? And I'm like, why is he being such a nice guy,
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think the line is tough to tread. It's not that the show is completely worthless. I'm not being that, disingenuous. I'm saying that some of it was interesting. Some of it was way too fucking convenient. Holy shit. Like, wait a minute. I can't read, like, I can't find out what your secret desires are. I need to hang out with you a lot more. And it just so happens that you work alone. So what if we work together and I solve crime? And I'm just like, okay, what are we doing next? Would you like me to follow you to the next? Oh, now they're investigating a crime. I wonder if that one is the murderer. Oh, he's not. I wonder if this other person... No, he's not the murderer. Oh, it's the last person. But here was the person from before. Oh. It's just a little bit... It's just a little bit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
The weakest bit of this, I felt, was the supernatural side to it. Mm-hmm. Where he had another... Was he Archangel?
Yeah.
Came and I need a word with you.
Yeah.
I was just like, jeez, really? I don't think it needs it.
Did you know? Was it the wings you had a problem with?
I think it's the whole supernatural thing. I know it's Lucifer.
Yeah.
There's, you can suspend your disbelief for that bit, but then, I know it's hard to justify when you've suspended your belief that far.
Yeah.
Not to believe that, there isn't the whole mystique and storyline behind that. You know,
You
that's
haven't
not
been
going
watching
to appear.
Dominion, have you?
What?
You haven't been watching Dominion, have you?
No, I haven't. Yeah, you see, that's exactly the reason why. You know, you see, I'm not a big fan of things like Supernatural and Grimm and so on. You know, I just don't find them convincing enough, and it's a bit Buffy.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And you don't have any imagination either.
No, it's my imagination. Is a bit stunted. Yeah. So
I would have liked more of all the stuff Steve said he didn't like. Personally.
Yeah. I don't know. There was maybe 3 appearances by him during it, and I thought that was 2 or 3 too many. You know, I don't think it needed.
And
well, they just have to.
And for some reason,
Go on, Sean.
For some reason, for 10 years at least, the only way people can think to have angels show up and talk to people is for them to stop time, have wings, fold their wings, say something ominous, and then leave. And if I'm going to watch a show that has all that stuff in it, then why don't we watch Constantine, which is actually about supernatural forces interacting, as opposed to might eventually perhaps be about supernatural forces interacting?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not convinced. But I agree with you in that side of things should be another show. I don't think it's this show.
But how could you have this show without that side of things?
I know.
He's fucking Lucifer.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
I just don't want it there.
They're treading the line. They're treading the line, right? Because they want to get both audiences. They want to get the cop show audience. They want to get the supernatural show audience. And then they want to see what they need to do episode by episode to retain both and grow both. And eventually, when they need to raise the stakes, he'll just be, I don't know, hunting a killer who is also a demon. You know what I mean? Like, they'll just find a way to blend both. And if they do it successfully, they'll have a show that goes for a long time. And if they don't, people will either not notice and they'll have a show that goes for a long time, or people will, and they won't have a show that goes for a very long time.
Imagine though, like if in some episodes they needed cop skills, and in other episodes they needed supernatural skills to solve the problem. Great team that would be that could handle both of these problems.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they could be.
You know,
doing
you're
that.
going to love this show.
What? Yeah. Well, you see, I'm going to love 3/4 of it anyway. You know, there's going to be that quarter of the story that is just not going to appeal to me. I love the fact that there's another show like Sherlock on. I love it because I love Sherlock and I love that format. It's not a criticism to say that it's very like that. I think great, bring them on. You know, but I'm just that they don't wear out that format too.
But Steve, is this because you watch a lot of non-traditional, non-mainstream stuff? You are aware that the mainstream is completely glutted with shows egg fucking exactly like this. Like buddy cop shows are what is on television. You know what I mean? Going as far back as Bones, which has got like 11 seasons.
I agree, absolutely. But it's the persona of the person that is not the cop, let's say. You know?
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah. Because for me, it was The Mentalist that got me.
Yeah, he's a little bit outside the law, and he's not tied by the same constraints as someone that would be a cop, so they can sort of, sort of manipulate stuff. But he's also got that gift for manipulation, and I love his confidence. And did I say manipulation already? Yeah,
a couple of times.
So I think that's the appeal for it. I like his wordsmithing. Yeah. Great dialogue.
When I started watching this, first 5-10 minutes, I thought, I'm not going to fucking like this at all. I really am not going to like it because he was really annoying me.
Right.
Just too smooth, too quickly.
Suave.
Yeah. And I thought, I'm not liking this.
Yeah.
And then I got it.
Yeah.
I realized that this is actually a new vehicle for Jimmy Carr. You know that stand-up that you hate?
Yeah, you better explain. Yeah.
Jimmy Carr, UK stand-up, specializes in offensive humor, delivered in a deadpan, sort of ever so posh sort of a way.
Yeah.
And he doesn't start out that way, but as the show goes on, You can see that's what it's building into, and I can see actually as the season develops, it has potential to become pretty funny. I think.
Yeah.
In his character.
I'd like to point out that Tom Ellis actually is Welsh.
Is he?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Just the character is English.
Okay.
Accent.
Yeah. Public school boy.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a real coup to get Mila Jovovich to come in and play the cop.
She's not unlike her, all right. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's
So you're sold then?
I'm-
Straight off. Mila Jovovich.
Mila
lookalike.
Jovovich.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's got all the ingredients that I should love it, but on the other hand, we have seen all this so many times before. So it's going to come down to the chemistry between the two main characters, and hopefully they can come up with something vaguely interesting as their weekly plot lines.
They're devious plot lines.
Yeah. But I thought the writing was pretty decent for what it is.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I did have a problem with the Angel.
Yeah.
Because he's cool on one level,
Yeah.
but every time he shows up, he's kind of, what are you doing here?
Yeah, it's just like you're slowing it up. The plot needs to continue. You know?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Like Sean said, you know, it's going to appeal to two audiences there, and you know, they'll have a larger viewership. I'm sure.
Yeah. One thing they really, really need to address is the structural problem in that the main character is immortal and invulnerable and not subject to any risk ever. You know, it's like, how do you build a drama if there's your character is invincible?
Yeah.
So I suppose that's where the Angels come in. That's the only way he can be hurt.
Yeah.
But
they'll find his kryptonite.
Yeah.
And then some bad guys will get it.
Yeah.
as they're I don't know, doing something like robbing a bank or something. I don't know, something like that. Yeah.
Maybe Indiana Jones will show up with some ancient relic that
Maybe
kills angels. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they're going to need some kind of instrument like that to, you know, get any level of drama at all.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just going to be, look into my eyes. Look into my eyes.
Yeah.
Tell me the answer to the problem before the end of the show.
Here's the thing, right? I actually think that they also need to figure out what their dialogue and scripting style is. Because one, there's way too many really obvious fucking puns about him being Lucifer in the first episode.
Yeah.
Like it's got really annoying to me after a while, because it was like every person was like, "Oh, your name's Lucifer? What kind of name is that?" It's from the fucking Bible. Like the kid got it, and that was the joke. The joke should be done now. Fuck everyone.
Yeah.
But every now and then they'll have something that I find quite interesting. For example, we know from the end of the episode that Lucifer is going to be going to therapy, and will be paying for his therapy by having sex with his therapist. That's interesting. However, this show does not have the balls to use things like that to its fullest extent, in my opinion. Here's the pitch, right? Next episode opens. It's the classic, like, you know, we see the door saying, you know, doctor, blah, 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 blah. And we hear him talking about his problems, you know? Yeah. We hear him saying how he feels weirdly connected to the human race the more time he spends around them, and yet repulsed because, the closer down you get to the worms, the more dirt you get on your shoes. And then we go into the room and we see that he's got her bent over the table and he's pounding her as hard as he fucking can from behind while saying this to her. And she comes and then gives him advice. And then he goes, "Thanks a lot." And then he goes to leave and it's like, "Oh, ha, ha, ha," spanks her on the bum. Like, is that show going to show us that? Or is it going to show us the toned down, watered down version of that? Because, you know, they want to get as many viewers as possible and they're on a major network.
Yeah.
That's what I think. And I think all we're going to get is cutesy jokes about Lucifer, and we're not actually going to get something from a person who has been charged with punishing and tormenting those who have sinned. Yeah. I don't see that coming out on network television.
Yeah.
No, I'm actually surprised that they got to broadcast it.
Yeah.
I know there was a lot of giving out about it.
Yeah. In fairness, like, you don't see too many buddy cop shows that have therapists spanking. You know, it's just not the done thing.
Actually, Bones has had a therapist character in it since Stephen Fry was in the show, in the middle of the second season. Oh, Stephen Fry? More like verbal spanking.
Okay, right.
So, thriller filler, Mike.
On the fence with this one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because
So it comes down to it. Would you watch episode 2?
I think I'm probably going to have to.
Yeah.
Probably against my better judgment, but I will.
So automatically it's a thriller then, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Sean.
Yeah, I think it's going to have to be a filler from me, because if, for example, the cop were to die at the end of the episode, I wouldn't really give a shit.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, seriously, if at the end of the episode a character were to die and I don't care, then they've done something wrong.
Yeah.
So Steve, casting vote.
Yeah, I'm going to give this thriller.
Hey!
Yeah, I'll watch more of it and hope that the angel story goes away.
Okay.
Or else it's confined to a small dark corner,
Right.
just before or after the ads. So yeah, okay. So next up we have the movie this week, which is The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Sean, do you want to give a synopsis?
Sure.
Oh.
So, based on the old serial, TV, right? Not radio, TV serial?
Yeah.
Cool. Based on the old TV serial, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. is about when a nuclear scientist is captured and forced to work on, the ability to manufacture conveyor belt style nukes that could potentially destroy anyone in the world and hence give them total domination. When he's captured, then a Russian KGB agent and an American CIA agent, formerly an art thief, must team up together in the midst of the Cold War to try and use this scientist's daughter to find him, get the info they need, and get that power for themselves and their countries.
I went to see this today,
Yeah.
and it's been quite a while since I enjoyed 2 hours in the cinema quite so much.
Really?
Yeah, and it was kind of a bit nervous for me because The Man from U.N.C.L.E. was one of the few TV shows we were able to get when I was growing up.
Oh, yeah.
So I really liked the original series.
Yeah.
I was really, really worried that they would make it bollocks of it.
Right.
But it was brilliant. It was masterful cinematography, I thought. The combination of scene transitions and music was just brilliant. It just wound up your emotions,
Oh, yeah.
and I was just totally bought into it. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe there was sections where I was actually nearly jumping out of my seat, like, go on.
So is this I haven't seen it. Is this a Born Identity type
Yeah,
movie?
Nope.
Is it or is it a Bond type movie? Or that's my impression.
The
from
general genre, you have.
I know what the series used to be about. Yeah.
Born, Mission Impossible,
The Saint.
The Saint.
Yeah.
You've got secret agency type people doing dangerous things, and obviously lots of stuff blows up, and you have to drive fast and kiss pretty girls and all this kind of thing. That's the meat and potatoes of this genre.
Right.
So it's got pretty well all of that.
Yeah.
And it's just the style in which it's done.
Yeah.
That I really enjoyed, and the fact that they were almost celebrating the original, like the way it was shot. It looked like, say, From Russia with Love or something,
Right.
but shot without shitty 60s cameras or whatever.
Okay.
So it actually looked as it would have done had you made those movies back then,
Okay.
with modern equipment.
Right.
So I really appreciated there was actually a love for what they were doing that shone through for me. Yeah. Sean, what do you think?
Sean, you there? Have we lost Sean? Okay. Tell us more about it anyway, Mike, while we're waiting for him to come back to us.
but wait to return. I must admit, for a long, actually the whole movie until I went and checked out the cast list afterwards, I thought the main baddie was actually Paris Hilton.
Really?
It's actually, I think, Elizabeth Debicki or something is her name. And she was brilliant as baddie.
Oh yeah.
She's just got that total Ice Queen bitch face thing going on.
Oh really?
And she's the perfect foil for Superman, because he's, how many times we used the word suave this week?
Suave, yeah.
He's the classic ladies' man or whatever, and she's totally able for him. She's just, is that all you got?
Yeah.
And
Everybody.
Oh, you're back.
Everybody was great in this movie. I am indeed. Everybody was great in this movie. There was not a single performance that I could go, that was shit, they did that wrong, or that wasn't amazing.
You just back to it, Sean? Okay.
Yeah, I'm right here. I've been listening. I've been following the conversation. I was stunned at the similarity between Mike's review and what mine will be. So I'm just going to use fancier words to try and say what he said. And hopefully people will like me more.
Minimum 5 syllables for each word, man.
So
Indubitably.
you've pretty much got the nice. So you've pretty much got the very same opinion on this movie and enjoyed it equally as much. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, maybe even more. I want to expand on some stuff that Mike touched on, right?
Okay.
So the trailers make this movie look like kind of a dumb but fun actioner, right? That's not what it is at all. There are action sequences in this movie, but every single action sequence is used to show character.
Okay.
It's used to show who these people are. There are 1 or 2 sequences that are not, they're action that needs to happen, but it's not going to tell us anything we don't already know. So they just do some really fucking cool visual montage stuff set to some awesome music, and then boom, we're through it. We've gotten the explosions and the bullets. Awesome. Into the next thing that matters. Whereas every other movie would go, right, action sequence here, the punters will love it, we'll make a little bit more money. But in Man from U.N.C.L.E., literally after the first act, right, after the first 20 minutes, after a bit of a kerfuffle in the bathroom, once the arrangements have been made, we'll say, after the first act ends, I knew everything I needed to know about every single main character. I couldn't have said that an hour and a half into Fantastic Four.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't have said that. I knew everything about every relationship between those characters, and that was great. That was amazing. Armie Hammer stole the show, in my opinion. He was hilarious. For me, complete crowd favorite. He doesn't have to do more than grunt and tap his finger for everyone in the audience to just fucking laugh their shit off. Amazing. The thing about this movie, it's incredibly fun and funny. Another thing, it's a bit filthy. Like, it's actually got some really filthy humor in it. One point, Henry Cavill, and I won't say why, but at one point Henry Cavill says to another character, and remember, take it like a pussy. And I was just like, how are they getting away with that? That's ridiculous. And as well, there's humor in it that can be enjoyed no matter what culture you're from, no matter who you are. I'm thinking in particular of a sequence where Henry Cavill's character, Napoleon Solo, has to decide whether or not to help out his partner. And I was just like, this is fucking amazing. We could just be getting a random chase sequence right now, and that'd be fun. I mean, that's what Mission Impossible would do, and that could be fun as well. But instead, we're getting one of the most hilariously, not even subtle, but slow. It's like, ooh, oh look, and now what's about to happen? Oh, what's that? A sandwich? Oh my! Like, what's happening? And I was just so taken aback. Like, I was surprised.
Actually,
I had a good time throughout every frame.
Sorry, Sean, just that particular scene you're talking about, that was a perfect example of the use of music, because you have this scene is shot from 2 perspectives, and in one perspective you have this high tempo music that's really getting you going and whatever,
Yeah.
and then the other perspective the music totally switches to a relaxing. And you couldn't
Supermarket music.
You couldn't contrast the two perspectives more powerfully. It was just brilliantly done, and both of them are. It's not that you are aware of both perspectives at the same time.
Yeah.
So that was just a beautiful balance, I thought.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Nice.
go ahead, Sean.
But no, I just really, really liked it. I don't know, I'm looking for critiques in my head and I can't really find them. And I feel like Guy Ritchie made this, and it seems like he made it the exact way he wanted to, and it worked. And that's important because that means that we may get to see another Armie Hammer movie that is a reboot of a beloved old set of heroes, as opposed to what happened with the Lone Ranger the last time Armie Hammer stepped into some some shoes that were very familiar to people from a certain generation.
Tell me, is it very Guy Ritchie-esque stylistically? Does he use Guy Ritchie techniques and tricks?
He does a little bit. There are some time sequence plays put in, not too much, but every now and then they'll put something in there. Oh, that was kind of clever.
Yeah,
but at least they're not overdoing it,
Yeah, I love when in his movies when he does things like that. I just go, oh yeah, that was kind of cool, and then you remember, oh, it's Guy Ritchie. Yeah, yeah, very cool.
Yeah, and Hugh Grant is finally not in a rom-com.
All right. Yeah.
Fair play, Hugh.
He's broken the mold.
Yeah.
He's
finally got out of that fucking straitjacket that he's been in for most of his career, and he's really good in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of he's got that whole British thing going on.
Yeah.
But without the the stutter and
without the silly, I'm confused.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He gets to play a real person.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's like he's liberated.
Yeah.
After 30 years, I finally got a script that I can work with.
Very good. Is there a score to speak of?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The music's amazing.
Is it? Yeah. Is it all original?
It's amazing.
There are
some of it isn't.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. There's echoes. Like there's one great scene. I won't go into the details, but they put in a Sergio Leone music. The westerns, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's just playing in the background. And the scene has nothing to do with the West.
Yeah.
But it's a conflict. And you're instantly brought into Once Upon a Time in the West or whatever.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, cool. Yeah.
It was really, really well done.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you didn't like one song, they completely changed the genre for the next.
Yeah.
There wasn't like a blues theme or something going through it. It was all kinds of eclectic stuff.
All right, cool.
As well, just before we pop off, I actually really cared about the relationship between the two lads. Which is tough, right? Because whenever you have a buddy comedy or something similar to that, you start them at opposite ends of the spectrum where they hate each other, and then you bring them somewhat closer to the middle. But if you go all the way to the middle, or if you go too quickly where they meet each other and they love each other, that can go wrong. That can become unbelievable. And in this, they do a great job where they don't actually... It's not like in this movie the pathway is easy, and it's not like in this movie they like go out to dinner and everything's good now. It's not obvious and it's not blah blah blah. It's just like, yeah, it is believable to me that these guys disliked each other, because I'm not really even sure, and now have formed some kind of working relationship. And I was like, I'm glad, because I didn't want it to be too much, because when they do another movie, I still want them to kind of fucking hate each other. And I really care. They did a great job of bringing the conflict between those two characters back multiple times, sometimes for humorous effect and sometimes for quite dramatic effect. And I was like, oh shit, like what's going to happen? Is it actually going to all kick off?
Yeah.
And I think that the way that they resolved that was the best version of that. I actually cared about their relationship.
So... It seems to me that the release date was a bit unfortunate then. Like,
yeah.
Do we think that this is going to be like, or it could have been a franchise, sort of?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, but
Straight Outta Compton seems to have overblown it. Like,
but Straight Outta Compton was always going to be a big one.
Yeah.
which we shall be reviewing this or next week on this very podcast. Yeah, Straight Outta Compton is like it's a huge thing actually, but it sounds to me like this movie deserved more from its opening weekend. It sounds like it's a quality. What you're telling me here?
I didn't hear the figures. Did it do well or?
No, not really.
Oh.
Well, not what you would expect.
Okay.
Let's say.
Yeah.
I think that Straight Outta Compton did something like 50 plus million,
Yeah.
and wasn't expected to do that much. And Man from U.N.C.L.E. did something 20 something odd million and was supposed to do more,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
yeah.
a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunate for them. Okay. So, do you want to mark it? Sean?
Ah, feck. I was hoping you'd go to Mike first. I'm already at 8. This is at least an 8 for me, and I'm sure about whether or not to go higher. I'm going to let it rest on the 8, but I think that this is perhaps, I might even revisit that. Like, this is one of the best action comedies that I've seen this year, and I think we may end up talking about it again once we get to the end of the year.
Yeah, I
8.
thought a lot about this because I don't give out high marks lightly. I think was it Navy SEALs was the last 9 I gave out.
Navy SEALs NATO. Something like that.
So I was sitting there watching it, and there was just a kind of a relic critical brain functioning, which was thinking, this is 8? Could it be higher than an 8?
Yeah.
And I think I liked Kingsman, which is a similar kind of a thing, and I gave Kingsman an 8. But I like this movie more than Kingsman.
I'd have imagined this much better.
And this movie, I think what's taken me up there is there's some really good lines in it. There's quotable lines in it.
Yeah.
And if I see this movie, which I absolutely will see again, it will start entering my conversation.
Wow.
With lines from it.
Wow.
So I'm gonna just come out and
Come on, Mike.
flat admit it.
Take a breath.
I'm gonna give it a 9, Steve.
A 9. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, he did it.
He did it for both of us. He did it for both of us.
For the team, Sean. For
A
the
9.
team.
That's unreal. Wow.
So you can check back. There's not many of them I hand out.
No, there certainly isn't. So this is potentially movie of the year for you then. So far, obviously. Yeah, I know it's August, but yeah.
Yeah, for the first 8 months, this is my favorite movie that I've seen.
Wow.
Yeah, fucking love
Wow,
this
not too
show.
many 9s given out here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive. Okay, I'm definitely putting this on the list for me. Yeah, for sure. Okay, I regret not seeing it now. Okay, so after that, let me see. We're going to some previews and Going to a Bicycle near you. So the first one was Trumbo, starring Bryan Cranston. The successful career of a Hollywood screenwriter, Dalton Trumbo, comes to an end when he is blacklisted in the 40s for being a communist.
Are you or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
Sean, I'm interested to hear your opinion on this. This being your area of expertise.
Like, the dialogue is great. It seems to be pretty exciting when it is just about writing, and that's one of the rules. They say don't have writers as characters, because you can't go have your guys sit down and write stuff and make that interesting very easily.
Then
like, make your characters shoot people.
Right harder.
So that was kind of interesting that I was already there, but like, I can imagine, like, they have Kirk Douglas, they have a couple of people show up, and that you're going to recognize them, or this is almost like, I think it has the ability to be the screenwriting equivalent, as opposed to politics, the screenwriting equivalent of Argo, which was and Argo was the movie where they used a fake film production to effect a political rescue. Whereas I think this will be using screenwriting to change politics.
Right. Mike.
This is a tough one for me because I'm not seeing a whole lot of action in it.
Ah, jeez.
But
No zombies.
there's certainly the potential for a lot of conflict of less laser beam kind of variety. So I'll give it the benefit of the doubt.
Yes.
Could be worth watching.
I think you're right. And I think there's going to be a whole lot of political maneuvering and a whole lot of great dialogue, great performances. How are you on the whole set, though? You know, the whole timeline?
Yeah, I can live with it.
Cool. The next one I looked at was The Hateful Eight, which is this is the script that had quite a lot of controversy over the last.
We've been talking about this for a hell of a long
We
time.
have, yeah. This is the one that was stolen, the script, and then
It leaked, yeah.
yeah, and then Tarantino threatened not to make it ever,
Yeah.
and then he was convinced. I presume by very large Russell, Tim Roth, Michael Madsen, Bruce Dern, and Walton Goggins. Oh my God, what a cast! It looks fantastic, and it's set in post-Civil War Wyoming. Bounty hunters try to find shelter during a blizzard, get involved in the plot of betrayal and suspicion. Will they survive? So they all seem to be stuck in a cabin in the woods in the snow. That's what it looks like. I like this historic Tarantino, you know, rather than Reservoir Dogs or Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? His last three movies are really good. And Kurt Russell's always brilliant.
A mate described this. Oh, sorry. A mate described this to me as Django Unchained meets Reservoir Dogs, and I thought that was a bit of an interesting comparison because it is a bunch of interesting characters.
I'm a bit worried that we've seen it before, though. Like, what was that John Cusack movie with the 12 strangers in the motel? Identity.
Identity.
And then the other one with the devil in the elevator, which I think was called The Devil. So you have this scenario has been done. So I'm just wondering if it's interesting.
Mike, it's been going. It isn't like this is new though. Like Panic Room, movie about people in a place that is difficult to leave has always been a thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it does incite tension and conflict. You can see why they do them. There's a reason that submarine movies work because that's just a moving room you can't leave.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll give it a.
I can't wait for this. But we'll have to wait till January, I believe.
Okay.
Damn it. Anyway, next one is Sicario, I think is how you pronounce it. Is it? Sicario?
I don't see any. Correct your pronunciation.
Yeah. This stars Emily Blunt, John Bernthal, Josh Brolin, and Benicio del Toro. So this is an idealistic FBI agent is enlisted by an elected government task force to aid in escalating war against drugs at the border between the US and Mexico. This looks brutal in bits.
It does.
Doesn't it? Yeah. Like, what was the name of the Mexican movie that we watched?
The one with the guy with the dick on his forehead.
That's the one, yeah. It doesn't look quite that brutal, but it looks bad enough, but interesting. Sean, what did you think of this one?
I really don't know much after seeing that trailer. Like, do you know what I mean? I get it. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be a bit of a culture clash. And there's apparently one of the characters, I believe Benicio del Toro's character, will work for anyone as long as he gets to kill people. Sure, those are interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's going to be like an out-and-out actioner that gets really fucking gory, or if it's going to be a drama with like interspersed with action. You know what I mean? Like I'm not really sure what I'm getting yet, but my interest is piqued.
Is this not right up your street? It's got guns in it, John.
I mean, it is up my street, indeed. I'm just still wondering what kind of film it's going to be. I'll probably watch it either way. I'm just still interested. Like, it's like that thing that Leonardo DiCaprio says in Django, right?
Yeah.
It has my curiosity, but it does not yet have my attention.
Right. Okay. Mike?
Oh, this has my attention.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. First thing I noticed was there's a Emily Blunt shower scene.
Oh, God damn it.
I didn't even remember that bit. Sorry.
The lowest common denominator. Josh Brolin has form in this type of potentially highly violent sort of a thing. And yeah, if it's anything like No Country for Old Men, he's the man for it. And Benicio is just brilliant. He's just got bad guy written.
Yeah, he's always strong, isn't he?
Yeah. And so, I can't argue with the cast. I think it's going to be great.
I'm kind of intrigued by is it a double agent?
Mm.
Is it, an assassin?
Mm.
Is it a bicycle? That's the question. So,
I have a strong feeling that whoever watches this movie will leave the cinema feeling soiled.
Oh, really? Yeah. You're taking away my innocence.
I can't unsee that.
I can't believe I paid to have my innocence taken. Yeah. I can't wait to see this, actually. Yeah. It looks like a no-brainer actioner. A bit of Tom Clancy with a bit of Tarantino thrown in there, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Get a pair of pliers and a blowtorch.
Yeah, pliers, blowtorch in Mexico and you're weighing a hack.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Right, that's it from this week, I think. Sean, you any other final comments? Anything you want to promote or highlight?
I know. Promote or highlight? Jeez, fuck, lads, you put me on the spot here. I don't know.
Us this week, no?
I don't know. Just be wary of cockroaches in the summer in Las Vegas. I don't know what to...
You just put a saddle on them. They're great transport.
Oh, God.
What was I going to say? I got a question during the week wondering where your list of top 10 superheroes movies are.
Oh, I made it, actually.
Did you?
I made it with my mate. We were chatting it out because we actually were taking shelter from a rainstorm in a fast food restaurant.
Wow.
That's right. It rained for 2 hours and we couldn't move because the streets were flooded.
Wow.
So we chatted it out for 2 hours. I never wrote it down because I have no internet at my house because I just moved home. But I mean, you wouldn't have any sympathy about that, Steve. That's fine. So yeah, I've got the list pretty much ordered. Every now and then I cheat a little bit and just say trilogy instead of the name of the movie.
All right. Very good. Look forward to that. We'll post it up as soon as I get my hands on it. Mike, you're warned a week in advance. We want a list of top 10 B movies.
You think I have it now?
Or the worst 10 B movies. whichever way you work it. The highest that marked out at 2. Anyway, So that'll be the week after next. You'll be okay.
Probably need to implement fractions though. If you got 0 and 2, it's tough.
Okay. So we'll leave it there. Hopefully Mark will be back with us next week. So from Mike, Sean and Steve, stay classy.